Mortal Kombat, invented in 1992 by Ed Boon and John Tobias. Mortal Kombat is a story of politics, religion, love, loss, and family. But mostly loss. Wait a minute, I've done this intro already. Mortal Kombat is a multi-decade, multi-genre, multi-million-dollar franchise, starting in the same year that the Blue Jays won their first World Series, and allegedly ending in 2019 according to some very angry gamers on Twitter. One of which was me. From humble beginnings being developed in the North Center community area of Chicago, right beside the place where they teach fish how to swim. All the way to making headlines on major news networks during that time where old people were getting really, really angry at video games.
I don't want to take away their options, I just want to make sure they have no options. I have no problem with violence, but if there's a video game involved, that's a problem.
I understand. I disagree.
Today, we're going to briefly chronicle the changes the game series has gone through over its lifetime, and how it got to where it is, because most of you people probably didn't even know there were Mortal Kombat games before MK9. Mortal Kombat began its journey to become one of the most recognizable video game franchises as a dating simulator. Through the pre-PS2 era Mortal Kombat games, you play as a man named Mocap, a motion capture actor and best friend of Hollywood playboy Johnny Cage. Under the tutelage of the Supreme Chad known as Johnny Cage, Mocap learns the skills necessary to woo any and all females, or males depending on what team you play for, in the Mortal Kombat universe. Early on in the series, your selection of potential sexual partners was pretty limited. On the female side, you had Katana, Katana's mom, Pink Katana, Green Katana, Yellow Katana, and Red Katana. On the male side, you had Sub-Zero, Yellow Sub-Zero, Green Sub-Zero, Red Sub-Zero, Gray Sub-Zero, Purple Sub-Zero, Black Sub-Zero, Black Sub-Zero, and as the final boss after you've piped down every other member of the cast, Johnny Cage. The cast, however, got a little more diversified as time went on, adding in some four-armed buys, giving all the recolors names and personalities, and even adding in gender bends for some characters. While the games maintained what you would expect from a dating simulator, pick a place to go, find a fictional character to name your best boy or girl, and then try your best to navigate through a conversation without saying the absolute worst thing possible, there was one big change that clearly distinguished Mortal Kombat from every other dating simulator, and that was the inclusion of fatalities. In most dating simulator games, if you say the wrong thing enough times and ruin your date with a potential lover, the worst thing that happens is they tell you to go fuck yourself and angrily storm off. In MK, however, the worst thing that happens is you get fucking murdered in as gruesome a fashion imaginable, with the included permadeath mechanic making every death a full stop game over and forcing the player to start over. Dating in Mortal Kombat is almost as punishing as dating in real life. Mortal Kombat featured a deep system to navigate in order to win over the affection of others. You had to do more than just buy them gifts and remember which Ninja Turtle is their favorite. For example, Serena in the Netherrealm only likes tall guys, and Mocap, standing at a very average 5'9", just doesn't reach the height requirement. So you do some fetch quests for Dr. Chi, who in return gives you a free session of his patented neck stretching technique. Or Frost, only liking people who help her further the Cyber Initiative, so you let her take your brain and put it into a robot body. Eventually, Boon & Co. decided to branch out from making dating sim games and started experimenting with different genres with the MK Mythology series. Starting with MK Mythology Sub-Zero, a side-scrolling adventure game where you take the best MK character and go on one of those fetch quests for Quan Chi PhD. Because Sub-Zero also wants to gain some inches to have a shot with Serena, first Kuai Liang takes his brother's position within their clan, then he takes his name, and now he's taken his woman. It's no wonder Bihan is a rampaging revenant. How could he rest peacefully while his little brother's out fucking everything he once had? The MK Mythology series continued with Special Forces, another adventure game except this one sucks big time ass. And finally, MK Mythology Cyrax, a project for which they brought on the quintessential gamer Lawrence Sontag to direct the development of. Under the guidance of Dr. Sontag, MK Mythology Cyrax became a never-ending series of hacking minigames, broken up by the occasional round of Tetris. Not long after this, Mortal Kombat entered the wild world of 6th generation consoles, mainly the PS2. During this era, Mortal Kombat featured some of its most forgettable characters of all time, and also the best girl of the franchise. MK returned to its roots as a dating simulator while also continuing its ambitious push into other genres during this time. Ultimate Mortal Kombat is a remaster of Mortal Kombat 3, generally considered the best of the early era dating sim MK games. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance introduces the double date scenario into the game, greatly increasing the depth and potential outcomes of every romantic outing. Mortal Kombat Deception was a big breakaway from the series norm as it was a detective game. You play as Shujinko, a rookie detective assigned to investigate small-time crimes across the 5 realms, only to discover that they're all linked in a major plot to destroy all life. Shujinko then spends the rest of his entire life trying to prevent this catastrophic event. This game also features a different version of the classic fatality, known as a harakiri. Should someone being investigated by Shujinko feel like they've been cornered but have remained uncaptured, they will take their own life before being forced to spill any information. In its sequel, Mortal Kombat Unchained, the main villain and all his captured underlings escape from prison, and Old Man Chujinko has to somehow track them down and capture them again. Mortal Kombat Armageddon exists as a game solely for the purpose of Ed Boon to erase everything that has happened in the previous games and start over with a fresh slate. It also included miniature versions of every genre Ed wanted to try in the past, but never got the time to do so. A racing game, a turn-based strategy game, and whatever this not Tetris puzzle game is. With this fresh slate, Mortal Kombat went through yet another drastic genre change, going from being primarily a dating simulator into a fighting game. Starting off with Mortal Kombat 9 in 2011, and then Mortal Kombat X in 2015. Perfectly fine games, but they're not worth talking about anymore because, as we all know, when it comes to fighting game franchises, only the most recent release matters. All previous iterations of the game are immediately forgotten and discarded after the new one comes out. So Mortal Kombat 11, a fun game, sure, the core fighting gameplay is perfectly fine and all, but the elements of the game surrounding the gameplay are so nefarious and unforgivable, I'm not sure if I can continue playing it in good faith. What NetherRealm Studios has done under the guidance of Warner Brothers Games is so antithetical to what fighting games are supposed to be, I can barely contain my seething rage. What I'm about to tell you will shake you to your core. Values. These outfits that the female characters are wearing are not nearly revealing enough. This is a disgrace, and I'm considering boycotting NetherRealm Studios and establishing a blockade around their headquarters in order to cut off their supply and communication lines. I, like all men, have my aggression and general bloodlust tied directly to my sexual arousal. Please, Mr. Boone, tell me how exactly you expect me to be in the proper mindset to virtually rip someone's spine out if I'm only rocking a 30% chub. Unbelievable. Trash game, not enough tits, meat not on the roster, 0 out of 10, dead in a month. And that's it. A brief overview of the Mortal Kombat franchise, 8 different genres, 3 different timelines, and a lot of different Sub-Zeros. Where will the franchise go from here? I don't know, we're back to a clean slate again after the last game. And does it even really matter? Whatever happens, the timeline is just going to get reset again and we'll have to start over. The best thing to do is not think about it too much and just go along with Boone's wild ride. And now a word from some of my patrons. Mortal Kombat is an unironically good fighting game. It's not a ridiculously high-frame anime fighter, yeah, but it gives solid entertainment that anyone can enjoy. But the moment our holy anointed one, the Based God, is included as DLC, he'll be the win button of the game and the balance is going to be way off. Hashtag Free Britney. I got a job, I'm happy, that's all. Mortal Kombat? Nobody's mortal in that goddamn game. Have you seen the specials?